Hi there. Today we're going to talk about how to build a database from scratch, even if you're brand new to the area. And keep watching if you want to see the list of top ways to build your database. That'll be real hands-on active training. Hi, this is Real Estate with Alyse and Jay, and I'm Jay, and Alyse couldn't make it today. She's out showing houses in Bandera, Texas. And today we're going to bring you a lot of information. So if you have any questions, our contact information is in the description. And please feel free to call us, text us, or email us. I want to just start out real quick with a story because this is a typical story because we all want success in real estate. And usually we want it fast and easy. But it takes work. And the more work that you do and the faster that you do it, the sooner you're going to get the results that you're looking for. So our story starts with Heidi, and she is a realtor now, but when she was getting started, she was from Maryland. She met her husband and they decided to get married. So he gets a job over in North Carolina in a town that they've never lived before. So she's got to start her real estate business there in North Carolina, not knowing anybody except her husband. And one of the things that we hear quite a bit from agents is, I don't know how to start a database. I don't know what to do to build it. And I just wanted to use her as an example today because you've really got a leg up on somebody like that, because most of us already have friends and family in the area and we have a sphere of influence that we can reach out to, and we just have to organize that and start doing that, right? So what does she do to start her database? Well, it's the same question for all agents, even Alyse and I, who are both born and raised in San Antonio. And we know a lot of people, and you probably heard our story before, but it was around Thanksgiving about 10, 12 years ago. And I saw an NAR report that said the average realtor gets like 35, 36% of their business from repeat and referrals. And we knew a lot of people and we were just crushing it. And so I said, I'm going to run our numbers and find out what we did this last year. And I was shocked to find out that we were underperforming and we were only doing about 31% of our business from repeat and referral. And so I really decided to dig in and figure that out, that part of the business out. And so that led me to building a database. And the next year, we did about 50% of our business from repeats and referrals. And the following year, we did about 80% of our business from repeat and referral. And that equates to about 25, 35 deals a year. And it's been that way for the last 10 or 12 years that we've been doing that. We can count on those 25 to 35 deals from our database. And then, of course, that's the foundation of our business. But we always pick up a few extra deals from like an online lead or somebody who sees us on social media that we didn't know before, or even things like yard signs and calls like that. So we'll pick up a handful of business like that. But the bread and butter of our business is the repeat and referral utilizing our database. That's why we're so passionate about it. So we as agents just need to realize that we need to roll up our sleeves and get to work. And in Heidi's case, she started networking and meeting a few people. And then after they met, she would follow up with them on social media like Facebook or Instagram, someplace like that. And she started posting when she would see something worth commenting or talking about. So things like congratulations on your daughter's graduation, or happy birthday, or just anything like that. Right. And because she did that, she started conversations with a few people, and just by putting herself out there and letting go of her ego. Then what she did with that is she actually took it a step further and she asked people for their home address. And then she sent them a nice card in the mail to kind of follow up on their social media conversation. So now she's really starting to build those relationships with people. And so she just kept doing this for months and months and months, but she still didn't have any closings, right? So she was just about ready to give up and to quit and get out of the business and all those kinds of things. I mean, she was upset, frustrated, going broke month after month. And then out of the blue, just on the brink of disaster for her business, one of her friends calls with a referral. And here's the amazing part about that, right? Because she stuck with it. But the referral, he had to go see houses right away. He went out, saw a few houses that same day. He put one under contract, and he was actually a cash buyer. So he ended up closing about 2 weeks later. She got her first check in real estate. And that was the turning point that created her successful career. And like I mentioned with Alyse and I, that was the turning point that created all the success that we've got. And again, that's why I just wanted to share this information with you, just to get you in the mindset of starting to do that and starting to think about putting that together, because this is the right time of year to build out that database and start utilizing it so you have it in place all of next year and you'll get the most traction out of it. And so if you see what Heidi did, it's the same thing that every successful realtor has done to one degree or another. She followed the success playbook to a T. I mean, so she created a database, and that created a relationship. And those relationships created conversations about real estate, and those conversations created closings, and those continued relationships after the closing. That's what created that real business for her and her success. success. And so every successful realtor has gone through those steps. And so I'm just going to encourage you to keep grinding and keep doing that. And the sooner you set it up, the sooner you'll get to the result. And it's also worth noting that she immediately started a database, even though she wasn't from around that area. And that gave her an organized way to reach out to people and just start those conversations. And remember, whoever has the most conversations wins, because the more conversations, that means the more clients we're going to help and the more money that we're going to make along the way. And the other thing that the database does is it allows her to stay in touch after the sale, which then builds that repeat referral business so that you don't have to start your business from scratch, start over every month, every year, every week, right? You've got people reaching out to you. You've already got some pipeline built up. As we promised you when we started, this is the list of top ways to build your database. So number one on that list is open houses. Open houses are great, and they're a great way to start getting yourself out there and meeting the community, learning a little bit about the real estate market. We had a friend that did that his first year in business, and he brought in about $3.5 million, which is 12, 15 deals, depending on your price point and that kind of stuff. So that's a great first year for a new agent. And he was just consistent with it. He was doing 3 or 4 open houses during the week and on the weekends. He'd knock the neighbors' doors to drum up, let them know what you're going to be doing there. So he's getting to meet people that way, building out his database that way, meeting people when he's dropping off signs. He's getting people's attention when he's advertising on social media in different places. So there was a lot going on around those open houses, and that really helped kick off his business. So it's a great way to build your database. Number 2 is a home buyer seminar. So what you do is basically get a location. A lot of times lenders would love to partner with stuff like this, or home warranty companies, or even title companies. So you've got a spot to host it. And then what you do is you invite people to come and learn about the process that it takes to buy a house. And you can talk about things like financing, what you need to get in place, what paperwork you're going to need, credit, those types of things. But also, what is earnest money? What is option fee? What happens when you go under contract? When does the appraisal factor in? What happens at closing? Do I get my keys immediately at closing, or get them after the loan is funded? And we know the answers to all those questions, but the average home buyer doesn't, especially if they're a first-time home buyer. So that's a great way to do it. Number 3 is just the opposite of that. You do a home sellers webinar. And I mentioned webinar this time because you can do the same thing for buyers or sellers. You can do that online. And again, you just go through the sales process, because a lot of people, now that they bought their first house, when they go to sell it, they don't know all the difficulties and the things that they should be looking out for when they sell it. So you're just going to educate them about that process. And again, if you get 2 or 3 people there, that's great. If you get a room of 10 or 20, that's even better. And maybe you can think about doing one online and one live in person. And so that way you're getting kind of 2 in every month, and you're growing your database, building it up that way. Number 4 is to help a cause. Think about things like book drives, or when they have back to school, people make backpacks with school supplies for kids. So you'll find a cause like that that you want to support. And then you go around the neighborhood, door to door, on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and you're going to knock 100, 200 doors, whatever that is. And so you make a little flyer for your event, basically saying, hey, I'm here to pick up books for the free library at the public school. So we'd love for you to donate some books and magazines. So as you're going door to door, if people aren't home, you're leaving your flyer on their door with that contact information. And then the people that are home, you're leaving them that flyer and letting them know that, hey, I'll be back next week on Friday to come pick up the books. You can just put them in this bag, leave them out by the front door, and I'll come pick them up next week. Thanks for your donation, right? So now you're starting to build that relationship. You're starting to learn the neighborhood, and then you'll be able to start adding to your database from this way as well. Plus, you're helping a good cause, and it's an easy way to meet people because you're not selling them anything. You're helping the neighborhood out. Number 5 is good old-fashioned networking. And now this can be in a formal setting, like a BNI type network group, or it can be informally, like you're hanging out at your kid's soccer game or volleyball games, and you're mingling with the parents and things come up. So you're networking that way. And then follow the steps like Heidi did after that. Number 6 is hosting a barbecue or a party or something like that. It could be a brunch, it could be a lunch, whatever it is. But you're basically going to have some people, get them together, and just provide a little bit of fun and entertainment. And it could be something as simple as cooking up a barbecue at your house, or it could be more elaborate and you do something like at your neighborhood pool or whatever that is. But remember, you're going to be advertising that. You're going to be getting the word out. out. You're going to be inviting people. So you're just kind of getting yourself out there. And again, with no big intentions. That way you don't come off as salesy or anything. And then just those interactions and those relationships will start to build and form like that. And they'll build your database from there. Number 7 is volunteering. This is a great way to meet people and help the neighborhood or your area. So I'm a veteran, and a couple of years ago for Veterans Day, there was a group that needed help. They would line the streets of this little subdivision with flags all down the streets, and then they would have a neighborhood parade for Veterans Day. And then there's a big finish at the end where everybody gathers up and stuff like that. So we were out on Thursday or Friday putting out flags, meeting neighbors, meeting the other volunteers. So we got to network and meet people that way. And then at the end of the event, we had a booth, and so people would come up and ask us questions, and we'd get their information, pass out business cards, give away some koozies and t-shirts and things like that. So it was just a fun time, and it was just a good way to start getting out there and building up that database. And number 8 is probably the easiest and most productive way to do it, but that's just reach out to your friends and your family, having a conversation. Hey, I haven't caught up with you in a while. What's going on in your world? Happy birthday, blah, blah, blah. You're just reaching out, keeping up with your friends and family, and they'll really appreciate it. And it'll really help you build that database and start to get things going in your business. All right. And I just want to offer you some encouragement because, like I said, most of us had to go through these steps. And if you haven't done it yet, it feels daunting and everything like that. But if we can do it, you can definitely do it. And we'd love to help you, show you what we know. That way it can shave off a bunch of the learning curve for you, maybe go through the details of some of these items a little bit more to help you get started. So just let us know how we can help. Our contact information is in the description below. And like I said, we'd love to help you out. Please feel free to call, text, or email us. Thanks for watching. And as we like to say, keep Austin weird and keep San Antonio cool.